Could you talk around some metrics, just so for anybody who doesn't know, perhaps, what USDC's market cap is, geographically, where it's set, any interesting traction and user case that you're particularly proud of?
For perspective, USDC, today there is around 33 billion USDC in circulation. USDC as a protocol is like connected into virtually every digital wallet, exchange, protocol, blockchain, like out there. And so it's widely integrated into like kind of the product stack of anyone and pretty much any product that touches the blockchain ecosystem. So it's a widely adopted technology as well. We have handled over $15 trillion of transaction volume using USDC since we launched it. So pretty extraordinary amount of transactions.
Jeremy, on that, is there something that demonstrates its expansion in use? Hence 15 trillion since 6 years ago.
Yeah.
What would the last 3 years of cadence be there?
Yeah, I mean, the last 3 years have been tremendous growth, right? And actually, if you look at even this year, like stablecoin transaction volume growth for USDC has been faster than any other stablecoin. And that's because, in a sense, right, we kind of sit alongside other major technologies that are growing. And so one of the constraints on the adoption of stablecoins historically has been, the blockchains are slow, or there's expensive fees that you have to pay. And so if you can increase the speed and you can decrease the cost, then you're going to increase the velocity of transactions that can happen. And so we've seen that through, like blockchains like Solana have exploded in use, and for different kinds of consumer applications and DeFi applications and digital content applications. And so alongside that, you've seen this explosion of transaction volume as well. And so the basic concept is when the marginal cost of sort of storing and moving value goes to zero, the velocity of money increases pretty significantly. And so we've seen that. We've seen that over the last few years. But some other metrics, I mean, USDC is used in over 190 countries. And it's because it just exists on the internet, and blockchains exist on the internet, and anyone who has software can use it, right? It sort of has that connection. What's been really interesting to see is the growth in the evolution and use of USDC. So when we started out, we had a big vision for it in 2016 when we first had the idea, 2017 as we were building it, and then when we launched it in 2018, we had a big vision of, hey, we're going to create this protocol, and all forms of value exchange are going to happen through this over time. And if there's a use case for $1, it'll be a use case for USDC. And so we still obviously believe that, and we can talk about that separately, but we had to start in what I call a bootstrap use case. So what was the bootstrap that was going to happen to kind of get this going? And that was digital asset markets and DeFi. And so we really focused our energy on how do we get this technology adopted by all these developers that were building like on-chain protocols that were innovating in the Ethereum ecosystem.
I'd love to know, Jeremy, the first or significant, if it were, DeFi product where you had the moment of, oh, okay, this is really getting traction.
Yeah, I mean, there were several that all happened around the same time. Compound, Aave, Uniswap, DYDX, like these were the products that, and these were like the first major wave of DeFi innovations. There were many others as well. MakerDAO and DAI itself adopting USDC as a form of collateral, and so pretty much all of the like leading emerging Ethereum DeFi projects, like we built good relationships with those teams, and they adopted USDC.
Just explain for anybody who wouldn't know, why would a MakerDAO at that point? Why would they use it?
I mean, essentially, the way that DAI worked was that you'd effectively provide Ethereum, and essentially you'd get to borrow DAI, and it was the Ethereum kind of over collateralized the DAI, and so it was a way to borrow against your Ethereum.
Yep.
It was really like a lending protocol. It was like a debt creation protocol. Even though DAI itself is a stablecoin, effectively like it was issued against ETH, but there was a lot of volatility with Ethereum, and there were like huge market swings and corrections and crashes and other things, and that caused the kind of price stability of DAI to kind of get challenged. And so they then implemented this kind of framework where the collateral, they kind of came up with what was called multi-collateral DAI. So they basically created a way, they upgraded the MakerDAO system or the DAI system to allow not just ETH as collateral, but they would allow other assets as collateral.
Yep.
And the idea was like, if it's all tied to a highly volatile commodity asset like ETH, it sort of creates more challenges for the stability, the price stability of DAI. And so they basically approved USDC as a form of collateral. And of course, having a stable value digital dollar like as collateral against DAI was really helpful for its overall kind of stability. So that was sort of how that got adopted.
Yeah.
In that. Yeah.
Amazing.